Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, we're going to be diving back into some Cookie Run Kingdom and specifically taking a look at Werewolf Cookie. We're going to decide if it's going to be worth your investment. Does he move up the tier list at all, at least since the most recent buff that they provided in the update? So without further ado, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen, to start off today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Werewolf Cookie, all right? So we've got, obviously, it's going to be a charge unit. It's going to be placed in the front line, and because it's going to be a charge unit, it's going to be going up against some really hefty cookies and really good ones. Things like Dark Choco, things like Raspberry, you got Mala Sauce, you got Yam, you got RV, my favorite cookie. Basically, he's got a ton of competition as being a charge unit. Not only that, you might not know, but Dev Sisters, for whatever reason, have made charge cookies completely versatile and flexible. I mean, they're pretty much doing all different things. Some of them are focused more on damage, some of those are more focused on being tanky, some of those are more focused on providing some sort of utility like RV for a stun. There's just a crazy amount of different variety when it comes to charge units. And now officially jumping in here and taking a look at his skill, it's going to be called Transformation. It says, take his wolf form, causing area damage. And it says, in the wolf form, Werewolf Cookie has increased HP, does more powerful double strike regular attacks. Don't worry, we're going to get into some gameplay in a second. And then it says, single hit damage is going to be 206.9%. Transformation is going to be buffing his HP by 20% for 8 seconds. And then we've got a transformation amount of damage, which I'm assuming just means when he pops off his transformation, it will also do some area damage. Now, officially diving in here and taking a look at some toppings of choice for Werewolf Cookie. Now, for me personally, I'm going to say that the best set that you could absolutely run on a werewolf is going to be the Solid Almond set, because he is going to be placed in the front line unit. He's going to take a ton of incoming damage from whatever enemies you're going up against, and because of that, you want him to survive as long as possible. However, when it comes to the individual substats, I would probably argue that I think the best one for him would obviously be either cooldown or additional attack. The reason being is because the cooldown is going to allow him to stay in his transformation a lot longer, and because his base skill already has a cooldown timer of only 11 seconds to transform, and his HP buff is going to last for 8 seconds, you can potentially keep that 8 seconds constantly going, keeping him in transformation mode as much as possible, and keeping that HP buff going as long as possible. Like I said, the second stat that I would probably focus on would be additional attack, especially if you are trying to use him to scoop up as much AoE damage as possible. He could definitely add a lot of value in that realm. And then obviously the last one to focus on would be some additional damage resistance, just to add to his overall survivability. Now, I will say that it is 100% arguable that you could run a Searing Raspberry set on him, a full 5-piece, and still use him as a offensive charge. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that you need to understand that if you do that route, then focusing your substats should be more on survivability, so maybe mainly focusing in on more damage resistance over things like additional attack and cooldown. But I definitely think that you could obviously run a full Searing Raspberry set, but he's just going to be a little bit more squishier, so maybe pairing him up with another tank would be ideal if you are going to be running him offensively. Now, officially diving in here and taking a look at stage 725, all right? So we're going to be running this on solo. I don't know if he can actually clear 725 or not, so we're going to try it. But one thing I want to show you is that when he actually transforms, so the enemies actually take damage. So the moment he pops off a transformation, it's going to do damage, AoE damage to the enemy team. Not only that, when it comes to using his basic skill, look at this, it also hits multiple units, and I have seen him hit almost up to, I think, 4 or 5 enemies at once. We'll see it later on in the stage, I believe, but essentially he does pretty good damage. I mean, I can't deny that. I mean, as being a charge unit and not really a unit that's going to be built for doing just raw DPS, because his base attack stat is going to be lower than that of like a ambush or a bomber class, he's still doing work, man. He's still putting in a lot of work. Watch this, all 4 enemies die on hits, man. Very, very nice here. Like I said, when it comes to providing AoE damage, I think he can offer a ton of value, especially to early game players. If you do not, look at that, 4 enemies down. If you do not have a AoE damage dealer at the beginning, or maybe you're just lacking the top DPS units like your Sorbets and Black Raisin, I definitely think he can still add a ton of value to your overall team comp. And not to mention, man, I mean, as a charge unit, if you build him offensively, we're currently running the Solid Almond set, but if I was to build him as a full offensive tank, he's only going to be doing more damage than what you see currently here on screen, and it looks like he's not going to have a problem doing this. He's tanking it with the Solid Almond toppings. Can we actually beat the Librarian? Come on, baby. Come on, you transformed. Get him, knock him out. Let's go. 1 minute and 30 seconds, guys. Alrighty, so now officially diving into some PvP. Now we're gonna try something. And it's probably gonna just be absolutely terrible, but at the end of the day, I just want to see how he does and performs in the arena. All right, so we're gonna jump in here. This is the composition that we're going with. We're gonna have Parfait here, hopefully to reduce the stuns if this happens to be a Sea Fairy, and then it looks like I said, you know, they're gonna be doing as much damage as possible to us, utilizing the Scythe. So nope, it's a Black Raisin. Okay, so we might have a chance. I didn't see an Almond on there, so we might have a chance. Let's just see what happens. All right, I want to really see how much damage he can do to that DC right off the bat with his individual transformation. Keep in mind, he's only level 50, so that might actually crutch us here, but I am just curious. I just want to see if I can actually beat this. Can I stay alive long enough? And we will also review the results, too, at the end, because I really want to see how much damage he outputs compared to somebody like Sorbet, although Sorbet is level 60, so probably won't be more, but I still want to I'm still curious to just see the numbers. All right, so Sorbet obviously destroyed them at the end there. Let's see what we got. 55 seconds left on the clock. All right, so let's go ahead and click this meter here and let's see what happens. Okay, so we've got 239, which actually is terrible. When you look at somebody like Holly Berry, I mean, Holly Berry is literally doing double that and more. Parfait even doing a little bit of damage at 85,000, but I don't know, man, it's a little lackluster. It's very lackluster, I think, when it comes to overall arena. Maybe if you spec'd out a certain composition. Alrighty, so I just switched up my composition here, and what I really want to test out is I just want to try something. I don't know why, but I'm just going to try this with Almond. My Almond is only level 40. This team is pretty close. What is it, about 10,000 more, I think, power overall. I really just want to see what happens here, okay? So let's dive in here. Obviously, my treasures are going to be a little bit better, so that will aid us with this team composition. But what I'm curious on is I'm curious if they push back from Holly Berry, the chaining from Almond, and then obviously Werewolf doing the damage. This is what I want to see. Now, I know from the previous one that we ran, Holly Berry was doing more damage than Werewolf, which still might be the case here, but I really want to see if this composition works. I haven't tried this yet, so I really want to just try it and see. Ooh, okay. I don't know. Ooh, okay, so we did get a chunk of change, but I don't know if that was from Holly Berry or if that was from Werewolf. Okay, everybody's still surviving just fine. We got Werewolf using his ability right off the bat, so obviously, so the cooldown timer needs to be changed up just a little bit. Obviously, we were able to pull it off for the win, which I'm actually quite impressed. So I do want to see what the analytics are. Let's see what the battle analytics. Okay, so 259,000, 40 and 50, not bad. Okay, so it's not terrible. I mean, Holly Berry did less damage here than last time, and I mean, it seems pretty good. We'd have to test a little bit more to find out how good it can be in overall in PvP. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to wrap up this video. So for my overall conclusion when it comes to Werewolf, I've pretty much summed it up in the PvE notes, or at least the PvP gameplay that we showed you. At the end of the day, I think Werewolf Cookie is still a very good DPS unit, especially for early game players. He does offer a little bit of versatility with being a frontline unit, and if you build him with the solid Almond set, he can still take a ton of damage on top of outputting some damage if you're focusing on those attack substats. However, if you are looking to go more offensively, try to really hone in and get the damage resistance substat specifically, just to make sure that he can stay alive long enough. But outside of that, the one downside for me when it comes to Werewolf, and that where he really starts to fall off, is going to be when it comes to comparing him with other charged cookies. At the end of the day, I think everybody's going to pick and use a Dark Choco over somebody like Werewolf just because of that defense break, and it's very, very hard to replace that defensive break. Not only that, when it comes to adding just DPS units in your team in general, once you start to get higher levels and you unlock other cookies like your Sorbet and Black Raisin, for instance, they're going to be your top damage dealers across the board just from them being ambush cookies. So with that being said, I don't know how viable he's going to be to add to just any team composition, but I definitely think early game, not a bad investment. And with that being said, guys, don't forget to drop a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on Werewolf Cookie, the buff. I mean, does he need another buff? I don't know, man. You guys let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be going live here tonight on the channel at 8 p.m. CST. I hope to see all of you guys there. Don't forget, we've got a Discord link provided down below as well. Shameless plug. I will see you guys on the next one.